Thank you so much. Good evening, dear Dharma brothers and sisters. I hope you're having a good evening so far. I'm Monita, and on behalf of Buddhist Mahavihara, we would like to welcome you to our weekly Monday night Dharma Dana Sutta class with Bhante Dr. Chandima. So on this upcoming Sutta class, Bhante will introduce a new Sutta called Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta. My apologies if I make any mistakes. This sutta will look at the discussion between the Buddha and a married couple, Nakulapita and Nakulamata, on marriage, loyalty, and infidelity. I think this sutta will be of interest to many Dharma brothers and sisters, as the relationship with a spouse, among other relationships, is one of the most intricate ones that we have. So I hope you will share with your friends and family, so more brothers and sisters will get to hear this sutta class, will join this sutta class under the tutelage of Bhante Dr. Chandima. So allow me to introduce Bhante. He is the associate editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyala University in Thailand. He is previously research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, University of Victoria in Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima is also the Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada for 4 years, from 2012 to 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Paṭhisota, a virtual Dharma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussions, Dharma talks, and a variety of other Dharma activities. You can check out his Dharma works at https://paṭhisotablogspot.com. This Sutta class is sponsored by Lau Cheng Wan, Tay Leong Yen, Subodhi Joshi, in loving memory of Sing Miao P, in loving memory of Yu Min Tin. May everyone enjoy the class. Thank you, Bhante. All yours. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Sister Monita, once again for the introduction. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. And today we are going to start off a new sutta. See, this new sutta is about how did the Buddha look at lay life in terms of relationship, and not even relationship in terms of in this life, but also the possibility of two people together even in the next life. So this sutta is very important in that case. So before we get started, let's salute the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Before we get started, I wanted to inform you. Today, the Mahavihara side, they have fixed the mic issue. As you can see, this place near the, near this laptop, you can see the rodeo mic, 2 mics. When someone comes over here, I can hear very well, supposed to be. And yeah, this is that angle. And then the others I can see from the main screen. So if you have any questions, anything, when I ask, you can come up to this place. I think it's the first table on this side of the hall. All right, so please keep that in mind. All right, today is day 45. Yeah, day 45 of our Sutta study class, which means we have been conducting this class for 45 days, conducting many suttas, starting from Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, and then we studied Sabbasava Sutta, and then we studied what was the other sutta we studied just before today? Paṭhama Sutta. And today, this sutta is called Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta. Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta. Paṭhama means, what does Paṭhama mean? Paṭhama means one. Eko means one, but I could say Paṭhama means first. Cardinal numbers and what is the other called? Ordinary numbers and cardinal numbers. So this is called Paṭhama means first. Samajīvī means, Sama means whole, Jīvī means living, living together, co-living, first co-living. So once again, this sutta is about a couple called Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita. Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita. This couple is very important, I would say represents a very important place in the Buddha's life. It is said that this couple was the mother and father, parents of Shakyamuni Samma Sambuddha for 500 lifetimes. So they are not new to the Buddha. So to have a conversation about relationship, anything, they are not new to the Buddha. Buddha knows that they were my parents for 500 lifetimes before this life. So there are many suttas that go by this same name, Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita. There are suttas like Nakula Pita Sutta as such. But this sutta was given to them because both of them came to see the Buddha and asked a question. Actually, the question is about the topic that we'll be discussing next Monday. But today, I'm going to do an introduction so then we can kind of summarize everything. Now, I'm going to start this sutta. Let's take this kind of approach. You know that since I've been starting the sutta study from suttas like Paṭthakam and today Paṭhamasamajīvī, there's something important going on here. What is that important thing going on with these suttas? Normally, when we study suttas, we think that we have to learn suttas to attain Nibbana, isn't it? That is our main understanding, whether that is correct or incorrect, or whether this is true or untrue. So these suttas precisely explains to us that there are a lot of things that lay people have to learn in their lay life. Paṭthakama Sutta is a very interesting teaching about how to classify your wealth management, how to do your wealth management. Right? It's a very detailed sutta. And Buddha also brought up expenses on the spiritual purposes in that wealth management. He did not just talk about wealth management in the sense of earning money and spending on things like tax, paying tax, maybe paying for insurances and all that. He also brought up spiritual aspects, and he said that the last area to prioritize in your wealth is spiritual activities. That means if you are really working on your wealth in the proper way, you are going to be a blameless person, praiseworthy person one day. So, going back, Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta discusses another aspect of your lay life. I think one of the very important aspects, relationships. Now here, Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita, they are married. according to our understanding, they were married for more than 40 years. We don't call them uncle and auntie, but they were happily married for 40 years, or perhaps over that time. And keep in mind, they are Sotapannas. Okay, they are Sotapanna. This couple is a Sotapanna couple, but still married and being in the lay life. Okay, let's take a look at of the Sutta and then discuss more things. Okay, I hope you can see if I just zoom it this way. Okay, once again, Paṭhama means first, not one. One means eko. Okay? Eka or eko is one, but here we call it first. Samajīvī means co-living, right? Co-living. Evam me suttam, as you understand that all these suttas were narrated by certain monks, mostly Bhante Ananda. And then now here we see the background, way how the sutta was narrated. Evam, this way, me by me, suttam, heard. I have heard this way. Or thus have I heard. Ekang samayang, once upon a time. Bhagava. Bhagava is the proper word for the Buddha. Now we don't see Buddha all the time. Bhagava is the appellation, the what do you call the most respectful word that the textual quotations use for the Buddha. Because the Pali word Buddha is a generic word, which is applicable to Arahants, Pacceka Buddhas, and all the enlightened individuals. But when you say Bhagava, Bhagava is only used for the Sammasambuddhas. It can't be used for a Pacceka. It can't be used for an Arahant. What does Bhagava mean? You are always reciting suttas, even, in the chanting, you are always saying, Itipiso Bhagava, Bhagava. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vichacharana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Usadam Sarati Satta Devanusana Buddho Bhagavati. Again. And even today, Namo Tassa Bhagavatu. What does Bhagava mean? And there are people who translate Bhagava to be blessed one, lucky one. They go by this term. But Bhagava means Bhagga Raga, Bhagga Dosa, Bhagga Moha. Raga has been uprooted. Someone who has uprooted Raga. Dosa, aversion, and Moha, delusion, with ignorance. So now, Bhagava means that appellation. It's a very beautiful, it's not a loaded word. Now, there are loaded words in Dhamma, in English too. When you say some of the words like enlightenment, awakening, doctrine, right? Even a concept like aggregate, fabrication, they are loaded words. What does it mean by a loaded word? It has many other meanings. But Bhagava is a very particular word. There are Pali words as such. Okay, so Bhagava, now we understand in our own way, the Buddha. The Buddha is now staying in a place called Bhaggesu. Bhaggesu, okay, Bhaggesu, in the place of the Bhaggas. This is mostly closer to a place like Kosambi, near Kosambi. It's not in Kosambi, but another place nearby the Kosambi. We call it northeastern part of India, Bhagga. And then a particular place, Sunsumaragire, Pesakalavani, Migadai. In the Sunsumaragire, area, and there's a Deer Park and Pesakala group. Pesakala Vana. Vana means forest. Pesakala is a place of that particular forest. Migadaya, as you understand, even in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, it's a place like a sanctuary for the deers. Migadaya. Daya means the place given to the deer. That means nobody can hunt deers in this particular place. It was given by a king long time ago. Now even for the Isipatana area, and here now Besakalama. They were sanctuaries for deers. So if a deer is spotted in this area, hunters cannot hunt them down. Sanctuary. So Besakalama, Sunsumara. Sunsumara. What does Sunsumara mean in Pali? Sunsumara is a name of an animal. Can you think about this animal? Sunsumara is Pali word. Sunsu is Susumara or Sunsumara. Susumara or Sunsumara. Even though we take it as a place, but there is a meaning of this Pali word. Susumara is the name for a crocodile. A crocodile. Then how is it connected to a crocodile? Sunsumara Giri. It is said that this city was built up probably during the time a crocodile was making a cry. Somebody may have put it. Sunsumaragiri means the city that was built during a crocodile was making a cry. It's like the Australian city called Badagini. There's a city in Australia called Badagini because some Sri Lankan workers went there. So they were building up certain places in the city. So they were always saying Badagini, 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 hungry, hungry, hungry. So then somehow the city's name was given as Badagini. The Sinhala name Badagini means hungry. So this is a very normal general practice. So if there is an earlier observation as such, there was a tendency that the place was taking the name of those people. Anyways, here Susumara means a crocodile. So then Susumaragiri. So these are not very important. I just wanted to share with you some of the meanings. More important looking at the sutta. Okay, so the Buddha was living in the Susumaragiri place of Susumaragiri, and then there was a particular place in Susumaragiri, Besakala forest. And in the Besakala forest, there was a particular another place called Migadaya. Migadaya is a place for deers. It's a sanctuary for the deers. Besakala Vana Migadaya is important in another perspective. Why is it? The Buddha spent his 8 vassa in this place. Right? The vassa was just started, right? So Buddha's 8 vassa, which means he was around, how old was he? He became the Buddha, he said that he was 35 years old, then almost 43 years old. So he spent his vassa, 8 vassa, in this place, Pesakalavana. And there are many other stories, but we are not going to all these stories. It is said that Arahant Moggallana, once before he became an Arahant, was lazy by practicing meditation. So Buddha came to this Pesakalavana and then encouraged him, don't become lazy, keep your practice. All right, so now Buddha was staying in this Pesakalavana, the Bhagga's place, Susumaragiri. Now what is happening? Atako Bhagava, then Bhagava was Buddha, Pubbannha Samaya. Pubbannha Samayam. Pubbannha Samayam. Nivasetva Paṭthachīvara Mādāya Yena Nakulapitu Kahapatissa Nivesanam Te Nupasanka. Pasankamitva Panyate Asani Nisi. Then the Buddha, because he was already staying in this particular place in the Besakalavana, in the Susumaragiri of the Bhagga's country, Pubbannha Samaya. Ubbanna means morning. Ubbanna. Ubbanna Samaya means time, morning time. Paṭhachīvara Madaya. Nivasetva Paṭhachīvara Madaya. Nivasetva means get after having after put on his robe, getting dressed. Then what happened? He took up his patta. Patta means his arms bowl, and chivara means the robe. There are a couple other robes we understand. Adaya means taken. Yena nakula pituno gahapatis nivesana. Where there was Nakula Matu house, where there was Nakula's house. Then he approached to this place. Tenu Pasanka. Upasankamitva, having approached there, Panyate Asani Nisiti. Panyate means prepared. Asani means seat. Nisiti. He took a seat. He sat down in the prepared seat. Okay, so we understand he took up his arms pole and the rope and got dressed, and then he went to the house of Nakula Mata Nakula Pitu, and then he sat down in the prepared seat. Atako Nakula Pitacha Gahapati, Nakula Matacha Gahapatani, Yena Bhagavati Nupasanga. Then Nakula Pitacha Gahapati. Nakula Pita is a Gahapati, and Nakula Mata is a Gahapatani. What does this Gahapati mean? Gaha means house. Pati means owner. That means Nakula Pita is a owner of a house. Household, we call it that. Not even Nakula Pita is a householder, but also Nakula Mata is a Gahapatani. She's also an owner of the house. That means they both own the house, isn't it? Sometimes houses are not owned by the both, right? Maybe the husband owns the house, maybe the wife owns the house. In today's world, mostly the both of them. They have to pay a mortgage, right? So, Nakula, the Pali word Nakula has a meaning too. Nakula means a mongoose. Mongoose, the animal. Sometimes they can be seen in some places. Mongoose. But we understand that the tribe of Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita comes from a mongoose kind of lineage. It doesn't mean that they come from mongoose. The Pali word Nakula means mongoose. So they are tribe, there are different tribes at the time of the Buddha. So now what happens, both Nakula Pita and Nakula Mata, they also approach the Buddha now. And then, having approached the Buddha, what they did first was Abhivadena. They bowed down to the Buddha. And then, Eka Mantam Nisidinsu, sat down to one side. Why are they sitting down to one side when you normally respect and supposed to sit down towards someone who is respectful? You don't normally sit down in front of that person, right? You normally sit down to the side of that person, right? As a respect. This is an ancient respect, but in today's world, because of the condition, this can be changed. Right? Because we are practicing Buddhism depending on modern conditions. So we don't practice Buddhism from the Indian conditions. At that time, there were conditions that were appropriate for the Indian society. Without tarnishing, destroying the fundamentals of Buddhism, essence of Buddhism, we are going to practice Buddhism with these new conditions. Right? So that is why we understand this sitting etiquette, what I call the ethics. They are kind of in Thai tradition, they are very much concerned about this. When the Thai layperson, laywoman respects, and they don't even go by turning the back to the Buddha statue. They say very disrespectful. Don't point your feet towards the Buddha statue. Very disrespectful. They are their own culture. We are not saying that everybody who is a Buddhist should follow the Thai Buddhist way. That's their own tradition. There are things we have to learn. But when we understand, we are looking at these etiquette practices in a little bit wise way. But here we understand Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita sat down to one side as a respect for the Buddha. Then, Eka Mantang Nisinnuko Nakula Pita Gahapati Bhagavantang Nitatapuncha. So, Nakula Pitu, Nakula Pita, who has sat down to one side now, talk to the Buddha this way. The rest we are not going to discuss because they are coming in our discussion. All right. Now, what is happening here, Dhamma folks, is that Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, as I said earlier, happily married for 40 years. Now, what they want to ask from the Buddha is something very interesting. They both wanted to ask from the Buddha, Bhante, ever since we married individually, I would say, when Kulapita is saying in the next paragraph, what is he saying is this: ever since I married Nakula Mata, normally at that time, a man brings a woman over to his house, right? I have never thought of any other woman, even in a thought. Is this a good man? Probably. Mostly. In today's world, in a world of a lot of things happening, we are not blaming anything. We are doing our self, discipline. I have never thought, even a single thought about any other woman came to my mind. So what I want to do is that I want to be reborn with Nakula Mata in my next life. Is it possible? Very interesting, right? Now, if this question was asked from another person in today's world, what are you talking? Life is impermanent. How come you are expecting a next life with someone here? You have enough. You have suffered enough. Think about the opposite times. Don't even crave for anything. So he said so. And then Nakula Mata started talking. She also said the same thing. Ever since I was married to him, I have never thought about any other man, even in a thought. So I also want to be reborn with him. Is it possible? What did the Buddha say? Did the Buddha say that, as I said earlier, no, this is a bad thing to have, panchakanda, 5 aggregates. You have to look at them more transparently, 5 aggregates, 12 sense bases, 18 sense media elements, 18 dhatus elements. You must see them as they are. Don't look at his physical body. Buddha never said that. Buddha said, yes, it's possible. It's possible. Leaving more information for other days, I just want to summarize. And he said, if both of you have 4 things equally, then your wish is going to come true. If both of you can say that, I want to be now, even in today's world, even a teenager might say this during their puppy love, I want to be reborn with you. But this is something much more than that. So, Buddha says that if you have 4 qualities equally towards each other, then this is going to be possible. Now tell me, why did the Buddha not say anything against this idea? Because Buddha, no, they are Sotapannas. They are Sotapanna couple. But still they want to be together. What do you think? What is the importance of being together in the next life? But normally we used to understand this as a wrong understanding, it's like an unnecessary thing. I do my practice, you do your practice. Let's explore the Dhamma this way. Why is it very important to be reborn together with someone who I know very well as a Kalyana Mitra? If you are married, if you have a relationship with somebody, why is it important? It is because when you're living with someone who understands your interests well, Kalyana Mitra friendship, that helps you to practice Dhamma easily. Look at the example of Yashodhara and Prince Siddhartha. Same thing. What happened to them? They have been living together for 500 lifetimes. The first time that they initially fell in love was the Chandakinnara life. It's a Jataka story which the Buddha gave to Yashodhara when he went to Kapilavattu. I think you know the story, right? So when the Buddha went to his hometown, Kapilavattu, he gave some Dhamma talks to his father and then others. And he had to do a lot of things. And people did not welcome. You are a young person. We don't accept you. And then Buddha had to do certain miracles. Sometimes, when people don't accept you, you want to do some miracles just to convince that you are better than them. Right? So Buddha had to do this miracle, twin miracle. Right? From each part of the body, there are two types of mass that were emitting fire, water. People were, you must be somebody. Right? And they were really then very flabbergasted and then confused, surprised. Said, okay, we're going to listen to you. And then he went to the palace and then he gave Dhamma talk. He had his food. Then what happened? Yashodhara did not turn up at that point. Then Buddha went to the chamber. And then she started crying. She was trying to tell everything that, ever since I heard that you left the house, and I think there are a lot of misconceptions going on about the life of the Buddha. There are people who are saying Prince Siddhartha left the palace without informing others, which is just stark lie. Why is it? There's no mention that he left the palace without informing the family members. For what? Why did he want to leave the house that way? There are many suttas. Every sutta supports that he left the house by informing his family members. The Pali word is Mata Pitusu Rudantesu. Mata Pitusuru, he left the house while his family members, his stepmom, and then father and others were mourning over, crying over his departure. Oh, they know he's leaving. It's not that he looked at the chamber of Yashodhara with his son, he left, secretly left. That's not a good thing to do for a husband, isn't it? So he informed, but Yashodhara could not take it. So now there are drawings, how he was secretly looking at the baby Yashodhara. He left the house. This is a wrong Buddha's life, right? So if you look at Arya Pariyesana Sutta, I'm going to give you the name, Arya Pariyesana Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. It is said that Prince Siddhartha left the house while his mother, father, relatives were crying over his departure. That means they know, they are well informed. But unfortunately, somebody wrote this life of the Buddha this way. He left without telling anybody. If he had informed them earlier, they would have stopped him. Why is this something like a war, battle? And now there are other problems coming up. Because it's not a good move. It's not how it happened. Anyways, then Princess Yashodhara, she was telling the Buddha, Bhante, ever since you left the house, I followed everything you did according to what I heard from other people. I heard that you shaved your hair. I also started shaving my hair from that day onwards. And I heard that you put on some saffron robes. I also started wearing. I just discarded through my royal, whatever sari or whatever those beautiful clothings. I also started wearing those things. And ever since I heard that you eat once a day, I also started eating once a day. This way, she has been explaining. The Buddha said, I know. This is not the first life you've been sacrificing yourself for me. For 500 lifetimes, starting from the Chanda Kinnara life as a mermaid, you have been sacrificing for me for 500 lifetimes. So I know your sacrifice, your commitment. With your commitment, things have facilitated me in being this person. What does this mean? This means without Yashodhara's support as a layperson in his lay life, Bodhisattva could not have fulfilled his paramitas perfections. Even in the first life that they were together as a mermaid, what happened? You know what happened? One king really liked this mermaid, Yashodhara, in the life. And then this king shot an arrow to, to the Buddha. And it was a very poisonous arrow. And then after that, he was asking Yashodhara, now your man is gone. You should come to me. I'll take care of you very well. And she did not agree. And because of her asseveration, because of her protective words, uh, he was able to get back to normal. So she has been very loyal and she has been keeping the vows for these 500 lifetimes, even in the last life. So this is why, even in the case of Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, we see the same situation. So that means never think that a good relationship is a disturbance, setback to your spiritual life. If you cannot be with somebody, then leave it. Don't be with anybody. There are people who can't be with other people because of their problem. And they also make choices. I want to be single forever. Like, there are people who can't be with others because the characters don't match. Sometimes, I'm not saying that it's bad. There are people, they are making different choices. But if you have a really good person who can understand you, especially spiritually, so it helps you think together, plan together, organize together, and then you have support, right? Same thing applied to Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita. Okay, then what happened? Then the Buddha said, if you have 4 qualities equally between you and her or you and him, then this plan is going to be a possibility. What are those 4? Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Anya. Today is just an overview. I'm not going to go to details, saving information. Saddha basically means trust. What is this trust? Is it the trust of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha? Why? Is it important for a couple to trust about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha? Yeah, on a different level. But here, trust does not mean, it doesn't mean about that trust. This means they both have the equal trust. Minimum insecurities. No to minimum insecurities. Nowadays, when you take a couple, a lot of insecurities in. Let me see your phone, what are you doing, where you are, and I want to talk to you, right? A lot of insecurities are there. People are struggling a lot because they don't trust each other. Actually, there are problems too, right? There are problems. And they have some bad experiences. Maybe they have gone through a bad experience before, right? Because trust is what has to be built up at the beginning. A strong foundation. Whatever happens, I trust this person. I don't have to check their phones. I don't have to check their message. I don't have to check their whatever they are doing, where they are going. Trust. But trust has to be equal. Huh? Samasaddha, no, not normal saddha. Samasaddha, the trust that the wife is putting on the husband or the girlfriend is putting on the boyfriend, vice versa, has to be equal. Sometimes one is very eligible to be trustworthy, other one is not doing as such. So they both are building this equal trust every day, even since the time that they were not officially making that happen. So Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita had equal trust for many years, many decades. That's why they said, ever since I married to this person, even a single thought of cheating on somebody uh, didn't turn up. And the second quality is equal discipline, seal. Do we need a discipline for everything in our life? What is the discipline in talking? This is a problem in many people's life. Discipline in terms of talking. Because we would like to talk a lot, listen less, right? Then problems will come. Regardless of who you with in your life, mother, father, other people, whoever, if you listen more appropriately, talk uh, as required, then you understand people. Have you seen there are people, when you talk only 2, 3 words, they say, no, I know, don't need to talk anything else. They say, I know what are you talking. Actually, that's not what he's going to talk. They say they know everything. Probably you know, probably you don't know, but let the other person talk. Then the voices are heard. Then more trust is going to come. That means just because we all can talk, we don't have the discipline of talking if we don't listen to others in the proper way. I'm not saying that you don't have to talk what you want to talk. You have to talk, but at the right time, in the proper way. Discipline in terms of everything. Just imagine a soldier, law enforcement individual giving a gun, training with a gun, being having to train with a gun for many couple of months, asking them, you can't trigger this. You must have a good discipline. You have to know where to do this. And that discipline in terms of handling things in their own career. And then what about other things, even playing an instrument, driving? Just because you can drive, it doesn't mean you have the discipline in driving. Right? You may have seen when things get bottled up. Road rage. Road rage. In many places. Very impatient. They don't let other people go. They can't even wait. Right? So every activity needs a discipline. What about cooking? If you are cooking something, you need the discipline to cook, right? Not that you say, today I cook a little bit impatiently, so don't complain to me, don't whine about it. Just eat it. Right? Others have to eat what you cook in whatever the way you cook. You had some problem. You're telling them, don't complain today. I had some problems today. My mood is not good today. That means that discipline has gone away while cooking at that point. But when you cook with a discipline, you cook it properly. Cleaning is the same, right? Doing dishes, washing clothes, everything needs a discipline. That is what is meant by Samasila. It doesn't mean that a couple is going to only protect themselves from practicing precepts. What is the most important precept that applies to a couple? Not cheating on each other. Not cheating on each other. But nowadays there are different concepts coming up. Just because things are things not that things want for us to be free, like open marriages, open relationships. These are ideas people think that they want to do in their way. But we understand as a Buddhist, that's not what we want as a Buddhist person. What you want is you need to keep the trust, because that trust is not only for your man, not only for your wife, it is for your Dhamma practice. You might think that it's for my husband. Why should I do for him? He's a bad guy. Vice versa. It's not for them even. It's for our own conscience, for our own practice. At the end of the day, when you look back what I've been doing, I'm such a bad person. I've been doing a lot of bad things to my better half. That is why this discipline is very important. Samsaric. Then samachaga means generosity. Generosity means giving. We know that different people are different, right? Some people are even greedy, stingy to praise someone, isn't it? They don't even praise other people, give a compliment, not even giving things to other people. Forget about the money, forget about other things, forget about dana. They even stingy to praise. You are such a good person. Actually, they are good people. They don't compliment each other. So then it is going to be a problem. When you think about dana chaga, you think about dana and bringing dana to the temple, and this is my. I think most of you are doing that. I don't think there is anybody who is not doing that kind of dana. But this real dana means that you are such a generous person to your everything, mentally, physically, emotionally. Right? I always share with you a story about a person I know a long time ago. This person is a very quiet person. When he goes to a shop, this is what he does. And we might not be able to do it that way, but a good idea. So whenever he feels that the salesperson is really nice, kind, and not very pushy, and they really want to sell something in a good, nice way, and then he's trying to observe uh, the tag, maybe the name, okay, and then buy the product. When he goes back, what he's doing is that he is going to leave a comment, a review, probably in that particular shop under Google review. These reviews cannot be deleted, right? Even if it is a restaurant, they do a Yelp review. Then we were having a discussion. Why are you doing this? Because whenever the employer sees these reviews, they are going to promote these employees. What a good thing I'm doing. They are good people. We can do something for them. If they are really good, we can do something. This is one very modern way of helping other people. Leaving a good review, but true review. Huh? Don't flatter anybody. Right? There are people who flatter others, not like this. You think there was actually an honest service happen to me, and I want to witness that. That kind of promotion will not be happening without that kind of a review. So we have to be generous in many ways, not even giving dana to the Sangha members. Go beyond all the time. Do that dana too, but think about many ways to be generous. Now, praising other people, some people, as I said, some people are very stingy to praise other people. Why is it? Why there are people who are stingy to praise other people? No, if I praise this person, that would be a certain emotion to my character. There are people as such. You don't have to think that way. If you are a good person, praising the right person will not put you down. Right? So, uh, from that kind of compliment level generosity, even a good smile. I use a word called organic smile, a good smile. Giving a good smile to someone who you really know, happily talking. Right? And then we learn from the Buddha. I think I taught you before I came last time. We learn from the Buddha's life. Buddha is such a very courteous person. How courteous is he? It is said that whenever someone is to come to see the Buddha, from afar, he is said that he smiles. Pubbahasi, he smiles, he welcomes them. And then when he or she comes near him, Pubbabhasi, Pubba means first, Basi means talk. He is the first to talk. He's very social person, friendly person. Not that you talk first, I talk after, depending on how you talk to me and what you talk to me. Not that kind of a demanding person. So why don't we learn from the Buddha? We always learn from the Buddha to attain Nibbana. Why don't we learn from him to become a better person? Very friendly, sociable, kind person. A lot of things they are all related to generosity, which we will discuss in details another day. This is called Samachag. Now, what is the chag that is going to be relevant to a couple? Think about their generosity. It's not the dana generosity. That means they are sacrificing in a better way. Not that only one person has to sacrifice. Is marriage a give and take, some folks? Is it a give and take? You give, I give. Yeah, take it. If there's anything you want to do more, it's a bonus to me. Is it something like that? Or is it something more than that kind of give and take mentality? Nobody has to suffer. We understand nobody has to suffer, nobody has to overdo, but both have to have a very good communication about what is going from here, what is coming from there. That thing has to be discussed properly. Not that one has to always sacrifice, drain, and then calling the other person as an energy vampire. You consume all my energy now. I don't have money. I have nothing. I did everything for you. So I think there should be a fair share, like a fair share between couples. That kind of everybody understand. So when the relationship goes to a level that both understand their generosity to each other, I think that is a very good quality that they are maintaining. Now, when you hear comments from a person who broke up in a relationship, maybe who went out of an abusive relationship, what are they talking? I did everything for this person, but he or she consumed everything. What may have gone wrong? No equal generosity has happened in their relationship. Simple thing. So Buddha is teaching all these things from that time. Samachan. Finally, Samapanya. Samapanya means equal wisdom. What is the wisdom for a layperson? Can you tell me? I think we discussed that in a sutta. Can you tell me the sutta where you learn wisdom, Buddhist wisdom for a layperson like you? Not the Nibbana. Okay, this is what many people know. Nibbana is the highest wisdom. Nibbana and Parama. So I know that. That's a different higher layer. But before we get there, we should have the wisdom for lay life. You are living in a secular world, mundane world. What was the sutta? We discussed this wisdom. Paṭhamasamajīvī. I'm a little bit worried now. We just passed the Paṭhamasamajīvī, but you can't remember, isn't it? I hope that you remember. In the Paṭhamasamajīvī, we discuss panya, lay people's panya, wisdom. What is your panya? What is the lay person's wisdom? Wisdom is also a very abusive word nowadays. There are different people who are talking wisdom in different ways. Some people say wisdom arises from pain, suffering. Right? There are different people who are giving their own interpretation about wisdom, but Buddhism has a very specific uh, information about wisdom at different levels. If you want to be a wise person in your lay life, you must overcome 5 things. What are they? Number 1 is you have to reduce 2 things. Abhijja and Visamaloba. Abhijja means greed for what you own. Abhijja. Then Visamaloba means greed for what other people own. These two types of greeds can happen in many persons' life. This has to be overcome. I'm not saying you can get rid of them in one day. These are emotional things. It takes time, right? Because these are attached to your people around you, your life, others. But if you want to be wise, you need to overcome this in the first place. Let's talk about greed for what you have. What do you have? Whatever the things you have, money, wealth, people, everything. Even greed for what you wear, right? Clothings, what you bought over the past many years, decades. You must have those things, precious things that you have, right? Maybe your clothing. What clothing are they? Maybe branded clothing, your shoes, footwear, jewelry, and your knowledge, your people, whatever the greed you have, it's okay to have them. Buddha never says that you can't own jewelry, you can't have money. You need to have, definitely, but don't try to develop greed towards it. Without greed, use anything. You can buy whatever the things you want. It's no problem. And what about the greed for what other people have? I gave you an example. Sometimes, we don't know other people very much. And we hear from someone else bad mouth about you. Then you ask from that person, why is it? I don't know this person. How come he bad mouth about? Yeah, he bad mouth, not even one day. Now I meet him few times. She always bad mouth about you. Then you are thinking, what happened? Probably she or he is jealous about what you have. She has Visamaloba, he has Visamaloba now. So this is a problem. When other people are happy, when other people have things more than you, just be happy for them. It's a wonderful quality. Because that is how we are going to look at it. Not that how come I don't have, how come he has or she has. You don't have to go that way. That is the way a mundane person normally thinks. If you want to have it, you try to own it in your way. So abhijja means greed for what you have. Visamaloba means greed for what other people have. So you are going to overcome this in the first place to become wise. The more you overcome them, the wiser you are in the first place. Now think about someone who's always generous and don't try to brag about what he or she has. Very happy, very light life, very comfortable, right? So that is the first one. Second one is vyapada. Vyapada means not maintaining any evil, any ill will, any thoughts in destroying other people. Nowadays, when you watch internet news, uh, there are a lot of things going on, information. How can we look at this information without taking a side? There are wars happening, there are criminal activities happening, there are economical things happening, entertainment things are happening. When you go to internet, how are you going not to take a side of anybody? I just look at information what I want, and then I can come back again to my life. That is a very good way if you can do it, but you need discipline for that, right? So, vyapada means you are trying not to have any destroying thoughts. How do you know that you have ill will? When you understand that you are assassinating other people's characters, when you are destroying other people's characters, whenever you talk things like against other people, when you are writing certain things on social media, to destroy other people's stuff. So you understand you still have ill will a lot. So you are going to keeping it down. So no ill will. Try not to have ill will. Then Tina Midda. Tina Midda means trying to minimize your laziness for your thoughts. We normally call your thoughts and then mental factors, chitta and cetasika, trying to reduce any laziness. Because if our thoughts or mental factors get lazy, we are not going to be able to practice Dhamma very well. Sometimes we know this is bad, but still we are overwhelmed by the bad activity, akusala activity, because we don't have enough energy. The fourth one is Uddacha and Kukkucha. Uddacha Kukkucha means restlessness of the thoughts or mind. Uddacha. Kukkucha means remorse, regrets. So we are going to minimize any restlessness, any remorse. Last one is Vichikiccha, reducing the doubts. If we have a doubt about the Dhamma, we are going to honestly talking and trying to understand, maybe approaching the right person, right? Trying to clear those doubts, spiritual doubts mostly. So then you are becoming a wise person. Now, this is the wisdom that a lay couple need to have. Thereby, they are not having any issue. So Buddha says, if you have these four, to Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, then it is guaranteed that you are going to be reborn together in the next life. If you want, it is a choice. This couple, they were very happy to be reborn together. So that's why they asked from the Buddha. So Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, they are the most ideal couple that we see in the Buddhist text. Not even this. There are other stories about this couple because today we are starting out. I wanted to share with you this another sutta. It's about them too. In this sutta, in this particular sutta, another sutta, Nakula Pita going to be very sick, almost going to die. So Nakula Pita is very much worried about his wife. So we understand probably this sutta was given at a time when they were not Sotapans. I'm going to show you this sutta. This is a pretty interesting sutta too, because they are about this book. Nakula Pitu Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 6.16. You can see here, Nakula Pita, who is sick and comforted by his wife Nakula Mata, who tells him not to worry about dying because she can take care of the family and practice of the Dhamma. This is what happened. There were a couple worries. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 worries, 6 worries actually. I'm going to summarize in a very concise way so that we can have some questions. Number 1 is Nakula Mata was telling Nakula Pita, don't worry. Let's say you pass away, you should not worry that I cannot take care of our children. So she is going to give a lot of courage to her wife, her husband. As you can see here, householder Nakula Pita don't pass away with concern, issues, any worries. That kind of concern is suffering. It is criticized by the Buddha. What does it mean? We should never die with worries, isn't it? I think our lot of Buddhist people have even worries about the next life. Never die with worries. If they were given a choice to think about now you are going to die in the next moment, then the most important thing that comes to them is, will I be able to go to a good life? It's a worry. Don't think about anything. Just be calm, right? So it is not good to die with any worry, even to worry about the next life. then you should die with some happiness. Don't need to decide about what's happening in the next life. And then now she's telling the husband, uh, don't pass away with worries, concerns. Such worrying is suffering. Is criticized by the Buddha. Householder Nakula Pita, you might think I have gone, when you passed away, I won't be able to provide for the children and keep up the household carpets. But you should not see it like this. I am skilled at spinning cotton and carding wool, which means she's doing that as a work. I am able to provide for the children and keep up the household carpets, so don't die with cancer. Now, what does it mean? As a very strong, very capable wife, this is how the Buddha asks a spouse is supposed to behave when the other spouse is going to die. Not that, oh, what's going to happen to me? You are going to pass away. I'll be gone. This is not a Buddhist mentality. You have to be strong, and then you have to encourage your other spouse. We try to do everything to save you, but when everything falls away, I take the responsibility. I'm going to take care. This is number one worry that she was telling Nakula, Mata saying to Nakula Pita, to the husband. Second worry, this is very interesting. Thinking of marrying again, right? This is a problem. Sometimes the spouse is asking, what would you do if I pass away? It's like the question Kosala King Kosala asked from Mallika. One day, King Kosala, when they were having a tea, he asked from Mallika. He was having certain thoughts about this answer, but then they were all gone. Okay, Mallika, who would love you the most? Or I would say, who do you love the most? Actually, that's a question. Who do you love the most? Then let me think about Mallika. Said, dear King, I think I love me the most. King was very unhappy about it. This is not he expected. He was very unhappy. Actually, there are people who are saying, you are my priority. I love you the most. But Malika said, no, I love me the most. In the same way, uh, this is a very normal perception that every spouse may have. What's going to happen when I die? Will you remarry? Will you be with somebody? Okay, householder, you might think when you have gone, I will take another husband. But you should not see like this. Both you and I know that we have remained celibate while at home for the past 16 years. Interesting. That means from this 40 years, for 16 years, they've been celibate because they are sotapannas. They have been like this for whatever the reason. Don't think that. I can manage myself. I can have my own discipline. Okay. Third worry is not being able to see the Buddha and the Sangha members. Nakula Pita, you might think when you pass away, I won't I don't want to see the Buddha and the Sangha members. And then she's saying that she wants to see Buddha and Sangha members more and more. The fourth one is morality, my sila practice. Don't worry about my sila. And the fifth one is inner tranquility of awareness, which means something about my awareness. Nakula Mata is saying. Number 6 is um, trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Triple J. I think I can share with you this blog post later. What we see here is that another conversation between the same Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita about life. That is a very interesting one. So they are such a very communicative couple. You know what happened at the end? Because Nakula Pita was very happy about the answers from his wife, he got back to normal. So he grabbed a stick, walking stick. He went to see the Buddha. Then he said to the Buddha, Bhante, I had these worries, and my wife was, saying all these worries and her answers. Then I was able to come here. The Buddha said, she is a very good wife. That's how you have been able to come here. She has properly managed the situation. On one side, your health. On the other side, she was able to clear your doubts. There are people as a spouse, as spouses, they don't clear other spouses' doubts. So, anyways, this sutta, what do you call Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta, is a discussion about Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita. They were approached by the Buddha. Buddha used to go to their house, and when he went to their house, then they both said to the Buddha, Bhante, we want to be reborn together. So now let me ask you, is it wrong for a couple, let's say a Buddhist couple or a Buddhist couple, to think about a next life together? What do you think? A good question for you. Huh? Is it wrong to wish as such? It is not wrong. This sutta is proof for that. But they have to understand, why are we going to be together? Is it only for sensual pleasures? No. We have to grow in the Dhamma practice. Because I know you very well, you know me very well. This acquaintance, this association can help us invest in more Dhamma. Right? Sometimes there are people who meet the enemies in their Samsaric life as a couple, They never know that. They get together, but then they know that this is not a good relationship. At that point, this is going to be a problem. So it is very important to understand the purpose of this sutta at this point, which means the Buddha approved their wishes if they have those four: equal trust, equal discipline, equal generosity, and equal wisdom. All right, any questions about today, about this sutta? So you can come over to this mic and ask, and I may be happy to answer. So we have 15 minutes if you have any questions. If there's anything that you could not catch, you didn't understand, you can bring up anything about it.
Bhante,
Yes.
can I just get a clear picture about the Nakula Pita, Nakula Mata? Is it means the parents of Nakula? Because some just say Nakula's father, mother.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can get that way too. Nakula's father, Nakula's mother. We can say like that. Yeah, but we don't find Nakula very well here. But in the sutta, we don't find. So we have to assume that they might have had a son, Nakula, by the name of Nakula.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions about the sutta?
Bhante, means you were so called like have this spiritual craving, right, to be reborn. I mean, in the next life, they say to be your spouse. So in this aspect, means we will still be stuck in this Samsaric world, right? Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, it's a very, very good question, actually. Is this kind of a wish going to strike us in the samsara? No, because they are sotapannas already. So that means when they are together, they have grown in their Dhamma practice, right? That is why I think Buddha even let them wish as such, because they are already sotapannas. you think about other couples like that. Other couples such as Vishaka is a very good example. Now it is said that Vishaka became a Sotapanna when she was 7 years old. When she was 7 years old. Don't compare this to a 7 years old girl in today's world. They are not going to be do that. It's a very specific situation, very unique girl. And then after she became a Sotapanna, then in her late teenage years, she fell in love with a man. Right? How come a Sotapanna is going to fall in love with somebody? Tell me. And then she married to that person, and she got children, she got grandchildren. So what is happening to a Sotapanna in terms of relationship? Okay, here's the thing. A normal person, when they are going through, when such a normal person is going through these life situations, they are having lot of projections, lot of papanchas, actually, called papanchas, akusalas. I would say basically kilesas, going attached to each of these occasions, fall in love, marrying, all that. But even a Sotapanna person is going through all these events, but they have minimum to no Sakkaya Ditthi. That is the difference. Okay, what is Sakkaya Ditthi? What is the Sakkaya Ditthi that the Sotapanna does not have when they are going through relationship, fall in love and all that, marriage? Sakkaya Ditthi means, what do you call it? Someone is going to grasp, I would say, upadana, making the 5 aggregates upadana. We call it panchupadana. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, we learned that. Sankittena panchupadana. That means we have 5 things, we all beings, we have 5 things. Every moment when we are going through with these 5 aggregates, our body, our feelings, our what you call mental notes, our memories, our karma, good karma, bad karma, then our conscious. When we are going through these 5 aggregates in our normal life, we are building a huge upadana today. Maybe without our knowledge. But when you become a Sotapanna, you are not doing that, but you still go through your mundane life. You know that this is a Panchakanda body. You know that the person you are dating is also having a Panchakanda body. And you know where this is going to finish. You have a full understanding. That's why Vishaka, Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, they are going through all that with that particular understanding. So if they don't create akusala for the next life because they already Sotapannas. Their lifetime has already been limited to how many lives? 7 lives maximum. Right? But they still think they want to spend time together because they can learn together, they can, understand Dhamma more. Then we have to create an argument. Then Prince Siddhartha should not have met Princess Yashodhara, right? If we create an argument as such, then we have to make an argument. Then Prince Siddhartha should not have met Princess Yashodhara so that Prince Siddhartha could have become a Samma Sambuddha earlier than the suggested time. No, it's not going to happen. Because they were together for 500 lifetimes. So in the Buddhist text, we don't see that it was an impediment for the Prince Siddhartha not to become the Buddha. He needed that support from her. That is how he was able to make it. So the answer to that question is that no, because they are already Sotapannas. But let's say there is a couple who have no idea about the spiritual path. They are simply wanting to be together for their sensual pleasures. That could be a problem, as you said. It could be a problem. Now we are talking from a Dhamma perspective because being with you helped me to understand and practice more Dhamma. You are really facilitating my Dhamma practice. I'm facilitating your Dhamma practice. We all are Kalyana Mitras to each other. That kind of relationship marriage is what we are talking. Probably that couple may have come to a certain enlightenment stage also. So far, maybe already. And Buddha approved this because he knew that Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita already Sotapanna. So there's no problem because he knows that they need more Kalyana Mitra friendship to finalize their journey. Make sense? That's how we have to look at it. But now you can think about someone who wants to become a Sotapanna. Just because that person wants to become a Sotapanna, he or she wants to become a monk and nun. How fair is that idea? It depends. You don't have to become a monk or nun to become a Sotapanna. That is not a unique idea. But maybe you are ready to become a monk or nun. Just go for it. But you don't have to. You don't have to. Because if you look at Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, then Vishaka, Isidatta, how many examples are there? There are Sotapannas already. Because in society, Buddhist cultures, there is a certain assumption that house is a disturbance to my Dhamma practice. That's an old idea. Nowadays, we don't think that way. House, you can create a better house situation within your household. How to practice more Dhamma being a layperson. At that time, yes, they say Sambudhayang Garavasu Rajasayatanangiti Abbokasu Pampacham Itidiswana Pampaji Rattapala Sutta. Say, I have understood Rattapala say, I have understood my house is a place of lot of akusalas and then a lot of disturbances, right? Because at that time, not everybody was given the equal status. There was only a breadwinner. Man has to work in the society, right? So everybody is going to depend on somebody. Then becoming a monk is like a sky. But we understand there were lay people who became Sotapanna Sakadagami. But there were some other monks who stayed the full lifetime as a monk, none. But they could not attain any spiritual status. Yes, we know becoming a monk, nun is a choice. It may speed up your journey. It may not speed up your journey. It depends on the person. So we should not say anymore, house is a bad place for the practice of Dhamma. No, because when we look at these Dhamma teachings, Buddha said, you can create a better household for your Dhamma practice, like Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita. Yeah. All right, maybe we can take another couple minutes, 2 minutes probably, for any questions. There are certain occasions where we understand some stories. Not everybody is good for becoming a monk. It's like not everybody is good for going for a marriage, right? It's something we understand. Sometimes there are occasions where lay people become enlightened within their lay life, like Santati, means a Santati. If he had become a monk, he would have never become enlightened. But because of what is happening in his lay life, he was able to become enlightened, right? And how many people who became monks and dropped out of their practice? How many? They dropped out. They had to leave. It didn't work for them. But as a lay person, it worked very well for that person. So I'm not saying, I'm not discouraging you. What I'm telling is, there's no such thing that this is better than this. Everyone is unique. Everyone's spiritual journey is a very unique spiritual journey. Otherwise, those ignorant people might understand, Bhante, don't worry, kill 1,000 people like Angulimala, they'll become enlightened. Angulimala's case is very, very exceptional case. You can't bring that to yourself, right? And what about the Devadatta? Monk Devadatta. A lot of people say, Devadatta, true stone, and he sent people to kill the Buddha. And then, he instigated, provoked the kingship Ajasatta to kill the Buddha. But why he would become a Buddha again? Devadatta is going to be a Buddha. How? How come? And we don't see any mention that Buddha never asked other monks, go disrobe Devadatta. Have you ever found out that? You go to Thailand, they can disrobe any monk. There's a national office. Buddha never did that. You can't disrobe any monk. Buddha didn't do that. Buddha never. Then what about Devadatta? What about Channa? He never asked other monks, hey, go, this is not a good monk. Make him disrobe. Take his robes. He never do that. What happened at the end of Devadatta? Now, after doing a lot of bad things to Buddha, Devadatta told his monks, his friends, he has more devotees because he's such on Sila. I want to see the Buddha. Other monks said, no, don't go see the Buddha. You are our teacher. If you go to see the Buddha, we are degraded. No. Buddha still loves me. Very interesting. How come? Then monk Devadatta told his fellows, the loving kindness, metta Buddha has for Angulimala, his son Rahula, and for me, same, equal. Bring me to see the Buddha. Okay, we will bring you to Savatthi. And what happened? Then the Buddha overheard from other monks in the temple, Devadatta is coming. Then the Buddha said, he won't make it. That's why. Look what's going to happen. He won't make it here. Then he actually came, but Buddha did something very compassionate for him. I think a lot of people don't know about this thing. That is why he would become a Pacceka Buddha in many in the future. When the Devadatta came to Jetavanarama premises, Buddha reordained monk Devadatta, gave him precepts again. Then he passed away. He passed away and taken by the hellish beings. If the Buddha had not reordained monk Devadatta, he would never become a Pacceka Buddha. How compassionate is he? He did not take his robes. He did not ask other monks to do this and that. No, my question to you is that how Buddha, manage these situations, in a proper way. This compassion and kindness. I think we have to learn a lot from that. That's why what I'm trying to say is that the secular, mundane life, has to be understood in some good details. All right. Any questions for today about Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta? If there are no questions, we are going to wrap this up. And what we have been learning today is that we started off a new sutta. Its name is Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta. The summary of this sutta is a couple called Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita told the Buddha, Bhante, we would like to be reborn together. Buddha said, okay, as long as you have 4 equal things. And it was not bad because they are already Sotapannas. They know that this Kalyanamitta friendship that is between each other, supporting each other till they attain Nibbana. So we will be learning about further sections in our next classes. Until then, we are going to transfer good karmas. May all the good karmas we will be making today by learning Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta and the life of the Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, and their mundane life and their future life May all these good karmas we're making be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyatayo. At the same time, may all the good karmas be shared by all the Deva, Naga, Mahindika. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. May they, in particular, bless our Dhamma journeys, become seamless, consistent Dhamma journeys till we attain Nibbana. May Deva, Naga, Mahindika also attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatan punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatan punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatan punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu lokasasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu mang sadanti. At the same time, we are making a great wish. May we be in the company of Kalyana Mitras, noble friends, till we attain Nibbana. Thinking that we're going to make the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu yava nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we've been making today in this Dhamma Sutta discussion by understanding an overview about the Paṭhamasamajīvī Sutta, which is mentioned in the Anguttara Nikaya, be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu. Abhivadana siddhissa niccang vaddha pachāyino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, that's the end of our Sutta discussion today. And I wish you a good night, safe, journey back home. We'll be seeing you next Monday at the same time. Good night, everybody. Take care.